Hello once again, you're welcome to the program. To our first story, the Minister of State Designate at the Finance Ministry, Charles Edubuahin, says the controversial Agyapa deal is part of government's efforts to ensure Ghana beyond aid. Responding to questions at the vetting before Parliament committee, he said the arrangement is nothing new. Meanwhile, the Minister of State Designate at the Finance Ministry, Charles Edubuahin, has also justified the recent borrowings by government. According to him, this was due to severe revenue shortfalls and negative impact of COVID-19 on the economy. Mr. Buahin disclosed this in response to questions from some members of the appointment committee in Parliament a while ago. Well, if we do have Joseph, we could connect with Joseph to give you updates as to what exactly the vetting has been about. Joseph, if you could hear me, what exactly has been the import of Charles Edubuahin's submission at the vetting committee today? Can you hear me, Joseph? Having issues with your sound, but we shall try reconnecting to Joseph on that. But of course, to other stories, as we follow up on the vetting of the Minister Designate, the Minister of State Designate, Charles Edubuahin, regarding his submissions on the Agyapa Royalties deal and as well that of government spending and the 2021 budget. We shall cross over to Joseph shortly as we fix some issues there. But in the meantime, the Bank of Ghana will, before the end of this week, hold series of meetings with some chief executives of banks. The move is part of efforts to encourage banks to respond quickly to the recent policy rate cut. We shall give you details on this one, but let's cross over now to Parliament, where Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, the parliamentary correspondent, is on standby for us regarding the vetting of the Minister Designate of the Minister of State Designate, actually, of Finance, Charles Edubuahin. Joseph, we're grateful that you joined us. What exactly has the minister been saying regarding the Agyapa Royalties deal?
Charles, a number of issues have come up at the vetting. Mr. Edubuahin essentially explaining some of the decisions that the NPP administration has actually taken over the last 4 years when it comes to the management of the economy broadly. The issue having to do with the Agyapa deal, which sought to collateralize the country's gold royalties, have come up very strongly. He thinks is the best way to ensure that the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda actually works out and that the nation doesn't continue to rely on loans and foreign organizations in order to be able to raise funding to undertake its activities. There was a specific question to Mr. Edubuahin about what the figure is when it comes to the total gold stock that the nation has from the minority leader, which he indicated he didn't exactly have a figure to that, but then eventually they moved on. One other topical issue that's come up has been the country's debt situation, and there was a specific question to him about what the nation's current debt is, and Mr. Edubuahin gave the figure for that in terms of the country's debt as at the end of December 2020 to be 292 billion. Which the minority challenged him on and said that the figure was a bit more. But essentially, he ended up explaining that there's been a review by the International Monetary Fund of the country's debt stock, which added about 8 billion to that particular figure. And he says that has to do with the energy sector loans, which are being paid back. And that cannot exactly be considered as the country's debt, and that's actually corporate debt. They dealt with that as well. And one other controversial issue that's come up has to do with the role that his company, Black Star Advisory, has been playing in the issuance of bonds. And the minority, particularly Eric Opoku, who is a member on the appointment committee, claims that that company, which belongs to Mr. Edubuahin, has been benefiting from the country's bond issuance, and he says they've only been offering advisory services and not exactly been involved in the entire transaction. He's been before the committee for close to 2 hours now. We're waiting to see the other issues that will come up as well. Charles.
Joseph, we're so grateful that he joined us on the marketplace. He's our parliamentary correspondent on the ground, and he's been reporting on the ongoing vetting of the Minister of State Designate, Charles Edubuahin, who's been making some submissions regarding the Agyapa Royalties deal and Ghana's expenditure, among other things.